Welcome to Part 3 of Section 5. This part details how to go about writing the introduction paragraph and how to smoothly join it with the body paragraph. Now that we've discussed the explanation in Part 2, it is time to work our way through an example. When building a house, the builder has to start with the individual bricks and wood. In your case, these are the ideas you write down for your rough outline. The builder then lays a foundation and frames the house. This is the process of arranging the ideas into a logical sequence and filling it in by answering the implied questions. Lastly, the builder covers all this with finish work, like siding and sheetrock. Similarly, you have the polished paragraph. No doubt this process sounds exactly like what you did in the last section, and so it is. Since you already covered this detail in a previous section, we will just insert the finished product, the paragraph on inline skates, here, and include the implied questions since we are still constructing the overall essay. Here's the paragraph we covered in the last section. Though we did not repeat the steps taken to construct the body paragraph, you will recall from the last section the process of writing the short paragraph. You start with some idea of what you want to write, which is called the theme, or problem statement. From the theme, you list more specific ideas by putting them into a rough outline. By asking questions, you determine the sequence for the ideas in the outline and identify any missing content, which is later filled in by the answers to the questions. From this, you write the draft and final paragraphs. Often enough, the final paragraph can go directly into the body of a large paper, just like it is going into the body of this 3-paragraph essay. Since we have the body paragraph for this essay, our next step is to write the paragraph that introduces it. In the introduction paragraph, the first sentence proposes a topic. Using the techniques in Section 4, you then fill in the rest of the paragraph, ensuring that the sentences following the first sentence give the reader an idea of the direction of the argument. The introduction paragraph should also account for the disposition of the reader. This person is unaware that a life-changing paragraph on inline skates exists and simply must be read. The introduction paragraph must compel this person to leave her present reality and to enter this fascinating world of inline skates. With this in mind, here are a few things that might draw the attention of our reader. Line 1, revolutionary invention in the late 20th century, ice skates that can ride on pavement. Line 2, combine the strengths of ice skates and traditional roller skates. Line 3, it has wheels like traditional roller skates and banks like ice skates. The first line gives the reader the time frame of the 20th century and brings up something that affects ice skates. The other lines say what the invention is and how it is like both a roller skate and an ice skate. These lines give just enough detail to draw the reader in, but not enough to give away the whole story contained in the body paragraph. Following the pattern in Section 4, our next step is to use implied questions to check for gaps, and to determine the sequence that gives the best continuity of thought in the outline. Revolutionary invention in the late 20th century, ice skates that can ride on pavement. What was the invention? Inline skates. How did it do this? Combine the strengths of ice skates and traditional roller skates. What strengths did it combine? It has wheels like traditional roller skates and banks like ice skates. Now that we have filled the gaps and determined the best sequence of thought, our next steps will continue following the ones used in Section 4 to come up with the original paragraph on inline skates. The only difference is in purpose. The lines in the outline above have the purpose of making the entire paragraph into an introduction, which gives them continuity of thought on the paragraph level with the body. Here is the final outline for the introductory paragraph. Line 1, Introduction. A revolutionary invention in the late 20th century took ice skates off the ice and onto the pavement. Line 2, Body. It combined the strengths of both ice skates and traditional roller skates into inline skates. Line 3, Conclusion. Inline skates have wheels like traditional roller skates and allow for banking movements like ice skates. Here's the introduction paragraph with implied questions. In the late 20th century, a revolutionary invention took ice skates off the ice and onto the pavement. What was the invention and how did it do this? It did this by combining the strengths of both ice skates and traditional roller skates into the design of inline skates. What strengths did it combine? Though inline skates have wheels like traditional roller skates, they allow for the graceful banking movements previously limited to ice skates. And so we have our introduction paragraph. Now we need to join it to the body paragraph. For this step, we branch out again from Section 4. Somehow we have to make a smooth transition from this paragraph to the main body. The way we check for this is again by using implied questions. In this case, we look at the last sentence of the introduction paragraph and the first sentence of the body paragraph and think of the questions. How could it accomplish this? What does the new skate look like? As you will see in the next slide, these questions verify that there is enough of a connection between the last and first sentences that the paragraphs can be joined without modification. Here is a continuity check between the last sentence in the introduction paragraph and the first sentence in the body paragraph. Though inline skates have wheels like traditional roller skates, they allow for the graceful banking movements, previously limited to ice skates. How could it accomplish that? What does the new skate look like? The inline skate is a cross between an ice skate and a traditional roller skate. Finally, here are the introduction and body paragraphs with implied questions. I will read just the introduction paragraph and the first sentence of the body paragraph. In the late 20th century, a revolutionary invention took ice skates off the ice and onto the pavement. What was the invention and how did it do this? It did this by combining the strengths of both ice skates and traditional roller skates into the design of inline skates. What strengths did it combine? Though inline skates have wheels like traditional roller skates, they allow for the graceful banking movements previously limited to ice skates. How could it accomplish that? What does the new skate look like? The inline skate is a cross between an ice skate and a traditional roller skate.